Hey, BAMMA USA, getting ready for March 28th at Commerce Casino for Badbeat 12. Right now we have Kyra Batara getting ready to take on Misha Nassiri. Going into this fight, women's fight is really on the up and coming right now. How is it to be on our card as a woman fighter?
I'm so excited to be on this card with you guys. I know there's another girl fight, so I'm really looking forward to that, putting on a really good show. Women's MMA is rising incredibly right now. I know the Tough tryouts are next month, and so I'm looking forward to watching that new season.
Now, going into this, you actually had a very active year for 2013. How was your experience last year? And just tell me about how that went for you.
Last year, I graduated 2012, so last year was my first year that I was done with school. I could just focus on training. I didn't have a job. I took the whole year just to figure out what I wanted to do. I started doing kickboxing at Animal House with Enoch Wilson in Portland, and I trained with him, and then I got my first smoker in October. And so I did a smoker, just a small in-house kickboxing fight, and just to warm up before I got in the cage. I had my first fight with FCFF in December, and after that I fell in love with MMA. I knew it was exactly what I wanted to do. So for the entire year I really focused on training. I racked up the titles. I got my first NAGA belt in February. I ended up with I think 14 plus belts on top of my two Tuff N Uff title belts. So I ended up going 4-1 for MMA and then 1-0 for the one kickboxing.
Now, you had a very substantial amateur career. What was your decision to go pro?
To go pro, it was really tough finding fights. I know with my wrestling background, it was hard to have girls accept fights. With just my last Tuff N Uff fight, I had three opponents because they just kept backing out saying, I'm not prepared. And I know that it's an issue. And so with the wrestling experience, jiu-jitsu experience, I know that I have the years and mat time under my belt. And so I felt pretty confident that I was ready to make that pro level, especially after getting those two title fights at 105 and 110.
Yeah, and going into this one, taking on Misha, she, with her first pro fight, she got a TKO stoppage within 30 seconds of the first round. Is that more of a motivation, or is that altered the way you've trained for this fight?
I'm still sticking to my game plan. I'm a really strong wrestler, jiu-jitsu artist, and I've been working with Gil Martinez with Elite Boxing. So I have been working a lot on my striking, not particularly for this fight, but just in general as a fighter, growing, adding tools to my toolbox daily. I'm feeling really confident. I'm excited that she is coming off a 20-second knockout. It's going to be a really good fight.
And going into this, you're originally from Vancouver, Washington. What was the incentive to move out to start training in Vegas?
We were traveling so much. I have my whole family that's involved with me. My mom helps manage me. My dad has been coaching me since I started. He's actually the reason I started training. I have a little brother who's 11, who's one of my main training partners. So between traveling to Vegas and LA all the time for tournaments, we thought it'd be more convenient for us, as well as my dad getting a job down here. So it all kind of worked out.
Now, going into that, I mean, you're a younger girl, you're 19. Family is probably vital in your success so far. How is it when you go into the ring? Is it more of a motivation? Do you also do it for them? Or what do you do this for?
I do. I love it. It's where my passion is. I know this is what I was meant to do, what I was put on this earth to do. I My family is really involved. I have a little brother that looks up to me, and I always think before the cage, like, I gotta win. I gotta show my brother. Like, we're always motivating each other during practices. We wrestle together at Green Valley. I help coach over there, so we're always pushing each other, and he's a huge motivation for me for sure.
And obviously, he's one of your training partners. But who do you train with, and what gym do you train out of?
I train at a few different gyms. I do most of my jiu-jitsu over at Cobra Kai as well as my MMA. I do that with SimGo, and I do my boxing over with Gil Martinez at Elite Boxing, and then I go to 10th Planet with Eddie Bravo as much as I can. He's in LA, that's why I moved to Vegas to be closer to him. I was going there when I moved in Portland probably 4 times a year to do camps at 10th Planet because we don't have a 10th Planet here in Vegas. So I have my belt under him and try to see him as much as I can.
Now, you have the family support. You seem to have great training partners that you're going in with this. Another factor people don't really think about is social media. And that's probably a big thing to get supporters to get to know your name and everything. How has social media impacted your career in MMA?
Before I moved here, I wasn't really into the whole social media. I did like Facebook more just for keep in contact with my friends. But once I moved down here, I took things a lot more seriously. When I moved down here, it was preparing for my first title fight against Shasta McMurray for Tuff N Uff. And so I really buckled down. I started getting on my social media. Everything was promoting my sponsors, talking about training, just my whole life altered getting focused with my whole MMA career. And I think I post daily on just everything I'm doing. I know I just posted a video last night with me doing my throwing dummies, but it's helping so much just to connect to people too. I'm always so busy. I'm in the gyms. I don't have time to go through all the Facebook messages I get. I love my fans. They motivate me. They push me every day. But I want to reach out and be able to still connect with everybody through my social media.
Now, what is that handle so that people get to know you, especially in our BAMMA cage? They're going to know your name. How can they get a hold of you through social media?
Through social media, it's Kyra Batara on Twitter, capital K, capital B. On Instagram, I'm Mogwai KB. That's MOGWAI_KB. I'm Kyra Batara on Facebook. On my Instagram, I'm actually trying to promote a cookbook that I'm coming out with. So on top of training, I cook and I bake. I have really healthy desserts. I'm sponsored by NutriShop, and so I'm having a cookbook that I'm preparing to get out before this fight coming up. So all healthy desserts and recipes. 2 of them will be coming out soon.
Now, you're mentioning something about Mogwai as your handle, but that is also your nickname. How did you get nicknames like Mogwai?
Mogwai, I actually got it from one of my 10th Planet coaches. He gave me the option between Gizmo and Mogwai, and Gizmo is my grandma's dog's name, so I thought Mogwai would suit me a little bit better. He told me that I was cute and little, but as soon as I get in the cage, I get under those bright lights, I turn into a little gremlin. So I always have my jean vest on with my Mogwai patches, and I feel the name really suits me.
Well, it definitely seems as so. Going into this fight, Misha with her TKO stoppage, you coming off an amazing amateur record, going into this fight, what can your fans expect from you once you get into the cage for this fight?
Get in the cage for this fight? I know everyone's expecting me to take it to the ground right away. Honestly, I've been working on my boxing a lot with Gil Martinez. I got some really good stand-up. I'm looking forward to showing off a bit for the crowd and putting on a good show. All I can say is look forward to, if you follow me on Instagram, I have been working on my throws. I've been working on my Greco. My jiu-jitsu is feeling strong. I've been working a little bit of everything. So I'll be working my angles. Look for that submission.
And one of our sponsors, actually, Be First Clothing, is sponsoring a bonus for our fighters, knockout and submission of the night. Is that a little bit more of an incentive for you?
It is, especially Metamoris is actually the day after. And so Eddie Bravo will be cornering me, and he's competing the next day at Metamoris. And so with him being in my corner, it's really pushing me to get that submission and kind of motivate him, pump him up for his competition the next day.
Any shout-outs that you want to give out to any of your teammates?
Yeah, my teammates over at Cobra Kai, that they're pushing me every single day. Terrence, Shane, Ian, Mark, Carl. I had great girl training partners just this last week with Kita and Andy. Kita does jiu-jitsu, and Andy's from South Carolina. She's a MMA fighter, so getting really good training in with them this past week. But all my training partners over at Cobra Kai, Thank you so much for beating me up every day. I love you guys. My coaches, Eddie Bravo, Sim Go, Gil Martinez, and also my sponsors. They play a huge part. They're always helping me out with whatever I need. With Fight Chicks, Jake and Elizabeth, Paul over at Rev Gear, Solar Universe, and Palmer Electric, and my manager AJ with Epoch Agencies. They're all so great. They're all helping me tremendously preparing for this fight, mentally, physically. Quads not included. I don't know if you can see my leggings, but I have Adventure Time leggings on right now, so I have to show those off for Jill. She's a bodybuilder in Venice, and she's always come to my fights, always supporting me. So thank you guys. I love you.
Now, we are less than 2 weeks out to this fight. What do you think is your main focus within these last 2 weeks?
These last 2 weeks, my cardio is doing great. I've been working on all my technique. I know where I stand, what my game plan is. Right now, this last week is just really going hard, getting those last few sparring sessions in, fixing things, sharpening up my submissions. I have one more week just to go hard, and then I'm just going to kind of relax for the last week. My weight's on point, feeling great, feeling confident. This is honestly the best I've felt going into a fight.
Well, we wish you success, Kyra.
And also, I just want to shout out Redemption Martial Arts. It's an anti-bullying foundation. I'm actually preparing for a event the weekend after my fight for anti-bullying. So as I'm preparing for this fight, I'm promoting, passing out flyers. We're having a huge event in Vegas. So if you're in the Vegas area and you want to come down, we're having an event at UFC Gym Blue Diamond. We're going to have bounce houses, Easter egg hunt, all raising money for anti-bullying.
Is this also for self-defense as well?
We will be having classes, demonstrations there, but it's more just saying how martial arts isn't really a savage sport that people are like, oh, they're just going in the cage and beating each other up, and how martial arts has really helped me with my confidence, with everything. And so trying to help kids with their confidence and bringing them all together and stopping bullying.
Well, especially with MMA, it's definitely a world that requires respect for your teammates, your opponents. It's something that sportsmanship is the main factor, sportsmanship. And definitely anti-bullying is a very big thing, especially with women MMA coming up. It's good to see women taking advantage of self-defense and knowing how to respect themselves and to push forward through different things, especially when MMA is meant to be a guy sport, but women are kind of turning that around for themselves.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. All right, Kyra, we look forward to seeing you come weigh in. Stay healthy with these last 2 weeks. We'll see you take on Misha. Best of luck with the rest of your training. It seems like everything is on point, so we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. I look forward to fighting for you guys. I'm going to put on a really great show.